Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page fall layout using the Fernwood Collection from Vicki Boutin. I bought this last spring and have barely touched it. And the photos I'm scrapbooking are from a fall kind of farm, but don't necessarily scream fall. And so I decided to go look at this collection and did realize that there are some really pretty kind of fall leaf. There's a pretty fall leaf paper. And so I decided to kind of go with Fernwood for this. I wanted to bring in some of that bright green, but wanted to use the dark wood grain paper that's in the collection. And so I bordered that wood grain with the green paper. And then I'm going to cut these two papers down into flags, different lengths and different widths, and kind of just overlap those to the left hand side of the page. This layout is going to have 3 photos. I do end up trimming a couple of them down. Wow, sorry about that. I'm not sure why it was so shaky there. I apologize for that. So the top 2 I thought were just so cute. My youngest was too little to climb up on top of that hay bale, and so my oldest just dragged him up there. And then the right hand one was him on top of the hay bale. And so I did want to include those. And then the bottom one was from the same farm. They had this cute little cow train sort of a thing. I think they pulled them behind a tractor, and so I thought that photo was cute as well. And I backed that bottom photo with that same bright green striped paper because I felt like it brought out the green in the trees. You could see that I had kind of placed it on another kind of bright orange reddish paper, but I just felt like that was too much, and the green just accented the photo a lot better. I had this scrap piece of orange just hanging out with the collection because it matches so well, so I decided to back that photo, or the top right photo, with that orange, and just left the other photo by itself. I finally decided to kind of commit so I could figure out where my photos were actually going to be placed. I did have to overlap the 2 flags a little bit more than I anticipated. And then actually covered up a little bit, not a little, a lot more than I thought with that bottom photo. But there was this really cute piece of ephemera here that I wanted to use for journaling. I thought about making a pocket and having that slide out, but I don't know, decided not to. I decided that I would just kind of place the photo to the left there. I didn't feel like I needed a lot of journaling space for this layout, and so I will journal on what you can see on that kind of card there. So I definitely overlap all 3 photos big time. I remembered I had the title phrases from the collection. It wasn't with the kit, but I remembered that I had it, so I went and grabbed it, and I just decided to keep this title simple and just title it This Life, because I feel like the photo of my oldest helping my youngest is just, I don't know, it just sums up their relationship, I guess, and just how blessed I am for that relationship that they do have, because they are best friends. They're only 19 months apart. And so I just thought This Life kind of captured the feeling, I guess, that photo gives me, just how blessed I am for those two and their relationship. So the ephemera that I have is large. The pieces are so large that I did not know how to embellish the rest of the layout. One, the photos take up a lot. 2, there's not a lot of space to embellish. And so having such large embellishments really made it hard for me, I guess. So I stocked up on my fall flares from Scrap and Happy Studio. So I brought one of those in to fill in that space. I like when my photos overlap, I like to cover up that space that they overlap. So like that middle space where all 3 of them kind of come together, that's okay. But the corner that I kind of covered up with that flare, those are the I like to overlap those corners for whatever reason. So that's why I picked that spot for that. The ephemera had a frame, so I decided to add that to the top, maybe kind of as a little base for a cluster. I didn't really have an idea of what I was going to add to it at this point, but it does work out in the end. And then I wanted to add some of those puffy kind of sprigs to the fall fun. I just didn't want that by itself. So I'm gonna then go up to the top cluster there just to figure out what I want to do there. The fern is perfect, and I tucked it under there, found a ticket that I thought would just be another great layering piece, so I added that there, and then I'm going to leave that for the time being. And I do add one more thing at the end, but then I felt like to the left of the bottom photo it was quite open as well. Looking at it now, I feel like I could have left it and it would have looked fine, but I decided to kind of keep going, keep adding to it. There was this foliage here that I decided to use. I thought I wanted it up to the title, so it kind of anchored the title, I guess, but then I didn't really like the way that that looked either. And so I went back into my embellishments just to try to figure out what to use. I have these mini flares from Scrap and Happy Studio that are absolutely adorable. I love the mini flares, but decided against it. What I do end up using is a mushroom. I don't usually use mushrooms. That is one embellishment piece that I feel like always gets left behind if it's included in a collection, but I used it on this one, and because I'm using that, I did end up moving the foliage down a little bit and then added this little tag that says love it. Pop that up on some foam tape to give it a little bit more dimension. And then this is where I kind of decided, oh, I like that tag here, and there was another one that said having fun. So that is the last little piece that I'm going to add to the top. That kind of covers up that little kind of overlapping of the photos there as well. So that is going to finish off this layout. I had a fun time using Fernwood for a fall layout. If I can find it, I will link it down below for you guys to check out, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.